Okay, guys, welcome back once again. And this time I just need to make it a bit fun, so I'm just giving you a light music on the background. Okay, so I believe everyone was able to design the user interface, and you made something good, exactly as what I have on my screen. So like I said earlier, that this section is divided into two sections. The first section, which is to design the interface, which we have done, and now it's time for us to go into the proper coding of each of these buttons to make it work, to make it responsive. So I just wanted to go along with me, so I'll be giving you the codes. At the same time, I'll be explaining each of those code lines to you. So remember, something I always say, that before you use any variable, you need to first declare it. Now you declare it so that it can be used. Now the essence of declaration is to make it reusable within that block of code, or it can be used any call up again anywhere within your program. So the first thing we're going to do here is to declare our variables. So you can just come to your form here and double click on it. Okay, so this is my code. Now you can see here it says private sub from one dot. Now this is not where you're going to declare your code. We're going to declare it on the public class, so that anywhere within the program it can be reused. Now if I declare it here, it can only be used in between these in between these codes, but once I use it on the public class, it's used throughout the program. Okay, so let's make our declaration. Now follow me as I declare. So I'm going to start with them. Okay, them first number as decimal. Now I know you have done something on data types, and we have various types of data types. We have the integer, we have the decimal, we have the boolean, we have the char, we have the different strings, and so on. So right now we are using decimal so that it can take both integer and decimal numbers. That is why we're using decimal. So we can as well use float instead of decimal, but let's just leave it as decimal. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to declare my second number, the second number as decimal. So what happened there? As decimal. Okay, then I'm going to declare my operators. Now remember, we have different operators. We have the equal to, we have the plus, we have the minus, we have the addition, we have the division, and we have the multiplication. So all these are our operators. So we're just going to declare it as dim operators as integer. Okay, as integer. Then sorry, I need to check this. Okay, I'm having double hem here. Okay, yeah, I got that right. So now the last thing we're going to declare is the okay, sorry, that's dim operations. Now yeah, the this is dim operations, not operators, operations. I just get that. Yeah, operations, the operations. Now this is your final value should be as what as integer. Then sorry, I made a mistake here as well. This is supposed to be second number. Okay, so you need to really try to check through your codes to find all those little minor additive that can make your program not to work. You know, once it's not properly declared, while reusing it, it might not recognize the variable. So the last thing here is to dim operators underscore selector. So remember, we're going to select any of those operators while using them. So we're going to set this as boolean. You remember boolean it's a comparison conditions that picks between true or false. So it picks its value between true or false. So we're just going to set this as false. Okay, we're just going to set this as false. So operator selector as false. So now that we have declared our variable, let's now get into our codes. Okay, so you can as well save this. Okay, you can save this. So now we are going to go back to our design, and now we're going to start with coding each of those buttons. We're going to start with the number buttons. So we're going to start from 1. So I'm just going to start from here. Sorry. Yes. So I'm just going to double click on the button, and I'm going to start with my code. So our code is going to be if text box 1, remember the text box up there is just one text box we have. So if text box 1 dot it takes in as text, or rather if text box 1 is less than or greater than, if it's less than or greater than 0, then what should happen? Ensure your 0 is inside a quotation mark. Okay, open quotation and close quotation. Then what should happen? It says that okay, text box 1 dot text should do what? Should add. It should add value or equal to open quotation 1 close quotation, else. Now we're using if else. Okay, I believe in the first section you have been taught most of these conditional statements, if else then and cool. So we're using if else here. So else, what should happen? Text box 1 dot text equals to sorry, so one of those text equals to 1. So what this simply means is that if text box 1 is less than or equal to 0, then text box 1 should add the value 1, else it should add 1 to it. So remember, when we run our codes, if we run our code, sorry, what happened? Oh, you can see I have something was wrongly spelled, so let's correct that. Okay, text box 1, yes. So let's run our codes to see now. Did I submit that in the error? This was 1. So just give me a few minutes. Okay, so what happened was that it should be textbox1.text. okay, so at this point let's try to see. We press 1, you can see it's adding our 1. Now there's something we need to correct. You can see it's starting from right to left instead of left to right. So we're just going to close this and come to our design and click on the text, then come down to where we have alignment. So we're going to check it from right. Okay, we're going to take it from right. So now let's run our codes to C. Let's run our program to C. So left, can you see it? Taking it from left. Okay, so now let's come down to our codes. Now what we're going to do at this point to make our work very fast is that we're just going to copy this. You're just going to copy this, then come back to your program. Sorry, sometimes you just don't need to stress yourself, you just apply wisdom. So that is why we did this. Okay, so I'm just going to double click on the second button and just change where you have your 1 to 2. So I'm just going to change it throughout 2 and 2. Then let's just do it to 0 and we will just sorry, I'm running. So say 1 and 2, you can see it's running. 1 and 2 is running. So let's come down, let's quickly design this. So 3, let's do the same. Let's change it. I believe you are doing yours at your hand, so just follow my instruction. Okay, so come down to the design and go to 4 and do the same. 4 4 So I believe you're enjoying the music on the background. Let's just keep the environment lighted up with a cool music. Okay, so this is 4, so you're going to change this to 4 or rather 5. So 5. So 5. Then let's go to the 6th part and paste it there and change this to 6. Just do something. Okay, 6. 6. Then let's come down to 7. Sometimes it looks long, but that's the best for it to work. Okay, so we're going to try it around once we're done, and we'll see how it is. I have so many kids that have been trying to design something and achieve it as your real calculator, so we're going to achieve it together today. Okay, so at least you have something to boast of to your colleagues that feel to enroll for this program. So let's go to the 8th part. We're almost done with the numbers. Then I'm going to show you how you're going to code the other part of the operators, because that is where the main task is. So it's then so 0. So 0 can just add 0. Okay, there's no need putting else there because it's actually equals to 0, but let's leave it that way. Let's put it as 0. Okay, on the norms we're meant to take this off. We're meant to take all this off because it's actually equal to 0. Okay, so let's try our program to see if it's working fine before we move on. So I'm just going to type 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0 0 0 0. Okay, it's working fine. It's working fine. It's working fine. It's working fine. So please try to test yours to ensure it is working fine. and if it's working fine, then you can go ahead. If not, try to look through your codes to ensure that it is working properly. Okay, now let's quickly go to working on our backspace. Now this is the backspace. Now you on your computer, you know your backspace, what it does, right? It's kind of deletes numbers per digit or alphabet per digit. So we are going to decode it to delete those numbers. So instead of you cancelling all the numbers, you can just delete them one by one. Okay, so oh wait, let's quickly do this. Let's work on the decimal, because I know questions gonna pop up on that. So let's quickly code the decimal, then we go to the backspace. What do you think? Okay, let's quickly code this. So let's double click on the decimal. How do you create a decimal point that when you click on the button it appears on the screen? Have you ever tried to imagine it? It's not actually not the same, because decimal is actually